Hello viewers! Today I'm going to be brewing with Basmati rice. So I've tried this before in an earlier video and it didn't work out at all. But I'm going to make some adjustments and this time it's going to work. First of all, I want to give a big thank you to all the new viewers from India. It seemed like when I published my Basmati rice brewing video, I got a big surge in viewers from India. So thanks for tuning in. And I'm sorry that that first brew did not work out. So I am making some adjustments and it's going to work out this time. And I'm going to keep on trying until I get the best brew that I can from Basmati rice. So that's my goal, and I'm going to keep on making videos until I figure that out. So please keep on watching. And again, thank you to all my new Indian viewers. Let's brew. So first we prepare the rice. I'm using 667 grams of Basmati rice. That amount is intentional and important. That's about 4.5 rice cups. I'm using rice cups so that I can match up with the lines on my rice cooker bowl. I need to wash the rice gently but thoroughly. So my goal this time is to do a better job at fermenting. Last time it didn't work at all. This time I want to get a better result. So let's see if I can make some adjustments and get this to work. So I'm going to soak this overnight, about 12 hours. That's what I did last time, so not different so far. Okay, now it's day 0, the start of brewing. Let's drain the rice. And the reason I drained it is so I could weigh it. So it's now 903 grams, so it absorbed about 35% of the weight of rice in water. And now I'm going to make the rice in the rice cooker. I'm going to go up to the 5 line, and it turns out I added about the same amount of water as the initial amount of rice. Cook the rice in the rice cooker. Less than an hour later, it's done. And I'm going to take that out, fluff it up a bit. It seems pretty dry already, so I'm going to cover it and let it cool. Last time it didn't work out, so this time I'm using my homemade nuruk, which I think is more powerful at breaking down the rice starch to sugar. We'll see. Here's my homemade nuruk, and I'm going to have to turn this into a powder. So that's a little strenuous. Oh, I'm moving out of the frame. Well, I want you to see how long it took for me to grind this up. This is 90 grams of homemade nuruk. This is more than my usual amount. 200 milliliters of water and half a teaspoon of wine yeast. So I stir that up. And I'm still waiting for the rice to cool down. It feels like the rice has cooled down. I'm going to put it in the jar just to prove. Okay, it's 30 degrees. That's about the right temperature to move it over. It is a little harder to work with this basmati rice. It sort of flies all over the place. Add in the nuruk mixture. And I'm going to add water, and I'm going to add more water than before. I'm adding 1,133 milliliters of water. Since I've already added 200 milliliters of water already, the total is 1,333 milliliters. That's twice the amount of rice. So the rice to water ratio is 1 to 2. This is a wet recipe. Last time maybe it was too dry, so this time I'm going to make it wetter. But it's a little full. It's hard to stir that with my hand. It's important to note the lid is loose here, and I'm fermenting it in a dark place. Temperature is around 20 degrees Celsius. So this is what it looks like the next day. I see some bubbles. That's a good sign. And I'm going to stir this for the first 4 days. So I can feel it's gotten a little softer already, but there's still a lot of rice. Then the next day, day 2, you can see bubbles going up there. There's a lot of bubbles, and it's really quite liquidy now. It's much easier to stir. Look at that. Day 3, again, pretty uniform, but bubbles on top. I'm stirring it again. Day 4, still continuing. Now day 5 and on, I'm not going to be stirring it. Notice now there's a clear layer on top. It is still bubbling, but now there's a clear layer of yellowish liquid on top. Day 7, that layer is quite large now. And it's sort of asymmetric. I don't know why that happened. There's only a few bubbles now. Day 10. Yeah, I'm letting this go for a long time. Maybe I could have bottled this a little earlier, but letting it go till day 12. So I'm boiling my filter bag, and let's see how this is the last stir here. Let's see how easy this is going to be to squeeze out, to filter. So I'm going to dump the whole thing into the filter bag. This happens to be an 80 micron filter bag. Pours out easily, nothing left in the fermentation jar. Now all I have to do is squeeze this and get it out. This time it does seem to be getting a little clogged. This is taking quite a bit of time to squeeze out. So yeah, my hands are getting tired. I need to be patient. I can feel there's not a lot of solids in there, but the filter bag seems to be getting clogged up, and I have to go back and forth and squeeze different parts. So there's a bit over 175 grams of shigemi left over. So that's reasonable. This is our makgeolli made with basmati rice. So we successfully made it to the end of the brew. It smells great, like honey and toast. So maybe this basmati brew is a success. Well, let's taste it and see. And I'm going to taste it right now, but also I want to wait 4 days just to give it some time in the fridge to settle and taste it then. So here we go. Hello, it's been 4 days, and so I want to taste it. It's settled somewhat. There's quite a bit of sediment on the bottom. It does look like it takes a while to settle. So I'm going to pour off some of the chongju first. I'm going to mix it up, and then pour the wanju, So let's do that. So just want to taste. So I've mixed this up, and this is wanju, and I'll taste that. So I want to taste the wanju first. Just looking at it, it seems to have a thick texture. The smell's good. A little bit of a milky, sour smell, which is good because that's authentic makgeolli smell. Some rubbery smell. Texture is okay. The Okay, now the flavor. It's, well, uh, it smells, thing is that for this one, it smells better than it tastes. The taste is quite astringent, and it's really dominated by bitterness at the end. So now, again, this could just be the effect of my nuruk, that it does tend to be bitter. So the good news is that it fermented. Really happy to see that, and it seemed to progress quite normally and have quite a complete fermentation. So that's really great. So I am going to brew this again. I'm going to make another attempt. Um, it's worth to keep trying and get to a good tasting recipe. Now, it's possible that my nuruk is just not going to make anything that's not bitter. And so next time, I'm going to use just plain supermarket nuruk, and that should be a lot milder, and hopefully the end result is going to have a better flavor. This is just too dominated by that bitterness. I think it would be pretty good without that. But what if I just drank the changju? Okay. Well, so it looks good. There's I taste enough alcohol in there. It is a bit thin. The flavor is thin. I don't think it's very strong. Now, also this recipe, I used more water than my normal rice wine recipe, so that could explain the dilution. It does have less bitterness, but it's just sort of a weak and thin taste. So I'll see how it develops. Hopefully, it'll settle more in the fridge, and I'll, I'll taste it as time goes on. See if there are any interesting changes. But the good news is I know that I can ferment with basmati rice. I can get a brew in the end. I'm going to make adjustments to the recipe and try this again. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching.